Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're talking about Progenity or PROG stock. We're going to be looking at this technical pattern that Progenity has been forming called the Wyckoff Accumulation pattern. Now this consists of 5 different phases and it is pretty complex. And am I saying that this means that Progenity is going to start rocketing very soon? No, honestly, technical analysis is never my end-all be-all when determining how a stock is going to perform. But at the end of the day, it is something to take note of. This is a strategy that's been around for over 100 years. We've seen it in Bitcoin within the past year when it was down at 30K in the recent months before coming right back up to its new all-time high. And we are seeing it in Progenity stock right now. So I wanted to go over it with you guys. And with that being said, I kindly ask you guys to leave that early like on the video, subscribe for more, hit that post notification bell down below, and let's just get right into it. So here is the pattern right here: accumulation, schematic, Wyckoff event, and phases. So it consists of phase A. This is when a lot of short sellers are in on the stock. Phase B, this is when it basically consolidates, it comes down. Phase C, this is when it sells off greatly, it springs back up, it tests down again. So it looks like it's in a bearish pattern, but it doesn't go down even more, so it springs up and it stays up. And this is the phase that we're currently in Progenity. And then it's phase D, where it breaks out finally of this whole accumulation zone, and then it consolidates. And then phase E, where it finally goes up and starts skyrocketing. So here we have the Progenity chart on the screen, and I've drawn out the Wyckoff pattern here with the hourly candlesticks, and you guys can see this is phase A right here. We're going to go over it phase by phase. So phase A, there's the preliminary support. This is where it's still in a bullish trend, and obviously it's going to keep trying to form an uptrend. Then you have the automatic rally right here, where it finds its first resistance. Between the preliminary support and the automatic rally, this is when there is heavy demand both by retail and institutions, but then it sells off, making it seem like there is a downtrend. After it meets resistance right here, it trends downwards till it reaches its selling climax right here, where you essentially see a short-term maximum selling pressure on the stock. The selling climax would have a lot of short covering as well as retail buying. Then it bounces right back up, and then it does what's called a secondary test, where it has formed a known resistance line. I mean, right here on this resistance point at the secondary test, we have seen the price of Progenity bounce off of multiple different times. If you guys wanted to check out this charting software I have on the screen right now, this is Moomoo. This is their desktop application. They also have an iOS and Android application. The promotion on the screen right now, they're doing up to $3,500 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. You can check it out using the links below in the description or pinned comment section. But they're also doing an additional promotion where you can get up to $10,500 by depositing at least $2,000 on their platform. It's very great for charting, as you guys can see from this analysis, and they don't do any payment for order flow. They give level 2 data for free, so it is very great for a full financial analysis. I like to think of it as a more advanced version of WeBull, and again, they have the best promotion of any brokerage right now, up to $3,500 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform, and then if you do $2,000 up to $10,500. So definitely check it out using the links below in the description and pinned comments section. And let's get right back into it. So then there's phase B right here, which has a lot more volatility. You go outside of the normal bands. If we go back here, you guys can see in phase B, we go outside of this band right here, and it was just more accumulation. This is a smaller than normal phase B on the Wyckoff pattern. Another thing that I'd like to mention, going back to the selling climax in phase A, is that this selling climax occurred when we passed this 200-hour moving average, which was definitely the first sign of weakness in Progenity. So that is definitely why it was likely the selling climax. Then you have phase C of the Wyckoff accumulation pattern, where it sells off greatly way below support levels, where it springs right back up and then it goes back down. It tests the level again, and then it goes back up into phase D. So right here for Progenity, phase C would have included earnings where we saw a sell-off all the way back down to 270, where it sprung right back up, and then it sold off again to this level down here, a 285, where we saw this morning, where that is the selling test once again, and then likely, according to this pattern, it should spring up again. Then you have phase D of the Wyckoff accumulation pattern, where you go up and you finally break out of the old resistance points, and then you consolidate, and then you have your next leg up. So obviously this would occur next week, and instead of it just being a straight line up, it'll likely go up, consolidate a little bit, and then jump up before doing its next test. And then in phase E, that's when it starts going up. There's heavy demand. This is when the retail FOMO crowd jumps into the stock, buys call options, etc. And phase E just happens to line up right here where 1119 would be, which is options expiration. So this is a very complex pattern, and you can't say for sure that it's going to follow it, but it is very interesting how the selling climax that we saw right here happened to be when we crossed that 200 moving average, the first sign of weakness in Progenity stock. Because if we zoom out a little bit right here, you guys can see we used it as a support level both times before. So we saw the weakness right here where we crossed below that, and it happened to be the selling climax of the stock. You also have right here the spring level where it completely gets oversold, and this is what we saw in earnings where it sprung down here and it immediately got bought right back up, and then we immediately went right back down, and we're testing here, and we bounced off of this level, and we're now consolidating around the support level of $3 per share. So currently it seems like we are finishing off phase C and we are going into phase D. So based off of this Wyckoff analysis, next week should be green. And you guys can see right here, this is a Wyckoff analysis of Bitcoin back in July. This is when it was around $33,000, $35,000 per Bitcoin, and it followed this Wyckoff pattern very, very nicely. So I've never been one for technical analysis, putting that ahead of my other analysis. So definitely check out some of my other videos on Progenity and understand the position where short sellers are in and how they are paying an insane amount of money to continue their short position. And most shorts are actually down a very good amount in Progenity still, even at $3 per share. So definitely check out those videos if you haven't already. But it's also very interesting how this Wyckoff accumulation pattern is forming in Progenity, and it would likely signal that we would have some green in the upcoming week. I don't want to make any promises. By no means am I a technical analysis expert, but if we do follow this pattern, it would mean more green for Progenity. Obviously, we have options expirations expiring next week. There's 38,000 call options at this $3 level. So if we do end up going above that $3 level, perhaps it could perpetuate us into a little bit of a gamma ramp, moving us up the ladder. And once we get to the 3.5 level, the $4 level, it could definitely end up going parabolic, which is what is in store in this Wyckoff pattern. The next phase of the Wyckoff pattern, phase D and phase E, that's when we really start to see some upside, and it just happens to coincide with options expiration. I find it really interesting that some of these key points, such as crossing that 200 hourly moving average, ended up being the selling climax, and we also got the spring on earnings. And then next week for options expiration, we'll be going into the part of the Wyckoff pattern where we really start to see some heavy upside in the stock. So it's very cool how everything is kind of lining up with this Wyckoff accumulation pattern. I can't tell you for sure if it's going to hit, but you can take what you just saw in this video as you will, and perhaps that will help aid in your decision to buy, sell, or hold Progenity stock. Anyways, that's about it for the video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe for more content, hit that post notification bell down below. Again, if you guys wanted to check out this charting software that I drew this whole pattern and did this whole video on, that is Moomoo. They have a desktop and mobile application. Their mobile application is very easy to use, and they're giving away up to $3,500 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. So it's definitely worth checking it out. No payment for order flow, free level 2 data. Links below in description and pinned comment section. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a wonderful weekend. Peace.